Hey there, Derek Rydall here, and we're talking today about how to let life do its job and you just do yours. Or another way to say it is how to resign as manager of the universe and just become an employee. I talk a lot about this, and we've heard a lot about the need to have more being and less doing, and I talk a lot about the need to be much more focused on the what versus the how. So a lot of times, just when we're starting to get in touch with our vision and our goals and our desires, we tend to immediately filter them or resist or stop ourselves and go right into, but how? But how? How am I going to do that? How is that going to be possible? How could I ever do that? I don't have the money for that, or I don't have the skill for that, and we're judging based on where we are right now and who we think we are right now, and we're limiting, and we want to get into the mix and start making this thing happen. And it's not to say there's not things we aren't meant to do, but when we get into the how, before we're really anchored in the what, really feeling the what, really feeling like we're already it, like we already have it, like it's already happening, but instead we start getting into the what, or the how rather, because we don't feel like we're it, we don't feel like it's happening, and we're gonna make it happen. And if you've heard me talk a lot, you heard me say, don't make it happen, make it welcome. And when you get into the how, you're basically deciding that there's this way to go, or that it has to happen this way, or it has to look this way, and you are collapsing the infinite organizing power of the universe into like your idea of how it should happen. Or you go into what's called secondary causation, where you are saying, well, a lot of people's visions sound more like a plan. It's like, I'm gonna be a best-selling author by getting my book to Oprah. Well, who says it has to go to Oprah for you to be a best-selling author? Or I'm gonna have a great relationship, or I'm gonna find the love of my life by making sure it's Bob or Sue. Well, who says it's Bob or Sue? And there's literally infinite organizing power in the universe. There's an infinite way for your life to fulfill itself. And when you jump into the what, especially when you jump in too soon, you collapse infinite potential and squeeze it into your little narrow, myopic, historically based idea of how it should happen. And now life's trying to squeeze its way through your narrow way, and all kinds of stress, struggle, stagnation, and problems ensue. So I had this experience, and I teach this, right? But I'm having an even deeper realization of it lately. I had this experience the other day, and all of a sudden I dropped into this space about, there was a variety of things going on in my life, challenges, opportunities, projects, etc. And I was feeling overwhelmed. I was feeling, how am I going to do all this? How is this going to happen? And I caught myself, and I began to come into a space of feeling that it was already done. And all of a sudden this voice and the energy came through me, and it said, it was like, wait for it, wait for it. I wanted to jump into the how. I wanted to go into the future and try to figure it out. And it said, stop, wait for it. But it's like, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. And as I was sitting in the what, that it's already done, and feeling that, and feeling what it would feel like. It was like life, the universe, God, whatever, was saying, just sit, just be still. And I could see this meter rising. And the longer I sat, the higher it rose up, and the higher it rose up, and the higher it rose up, until all of a sudden it hit the top. And it was like, when it hit the top, like these bells went off, and life was like clapping and cheering and saying, thank you. Now I can do my job. Life was like, thank you. Just you get into the what. You stay connected to the vision and the what. You get connected to the feeling that it's already done, and let me do the heavy lifting. And it was like, I could feel this energy of celebration. I could feel life going, finally, you're sitting still long enough so I can do my job, Derek. And that you need to get out of the way and let me take care of you. And that's what life is saying. It's saying, will you please let me take care of you? Will you please let me do the work? And this is what it means in the Bible when it says, he goes before you to prepare the place, or I go before you to prepare the place, straighten the crooked places, smooth out the rough places, lower the mountains, exalt the valleys, and create a path in the desert. that message or that principle is saying, this I am, this source or presence or whatever you want to call it that is within you, it does the work. It does the work, not your personality, not your idea of what should happen. There is an I in the midst of us that really does the work. And it's the same power or presence or source that is doing everything. The same life that created all this, that's governing and maintaining and sustaining all of nature and all of life, is the same life in you, and it wants to take care of you and run your life and fulfill your life the same way it's doing it for the rest of the universe. But somehow as human beings, we're like, yeah, life, God, whatever, you're doing a great job everywhere else, but when it comes to me, I'll take it from here, right? I'll take it from here, God. And God, life is like, all right, man, all right, kid. It's like the prodigal son. Leaves the father's house, I got my inheritance, I'm good, dad. Goes off, blows it all, loses it all, ends up with prostitutes and pigs, and basically ends up calling up and, can I come home? But we don't have to go through all that anymore. And as this was continuing to come through, I understand what it feels like to take care of somebody, my beloved partner, my children, my family, and I love it. It feels so great. And I take great care of them. I'm like, I got you. Relax, don't worry, I got you. And I began to realize that that feeling, that energy that was moving through me, that was like, I got you, that energy that was moving through me that would do whatever it took to take care of them, that was but a glimpse of the way life feels about us all the time. That love, that service, that generosity, that support, that desire to take care of my beloved, that's how life feels about me. That's how life feels about you. Life wants to surprise and delight you. Life is going, you just sit there. You just sit there or do whatever you want to do, and I'm going to surprise and delight you. Watch what I can do when you let me do it. It's why Ralph Waldo Emerson said, we must remove our bloated sense of nothingness out of the way of the divine circuits. It's why you hear the saying, let go and let God. And there's another saying in the Bible where it says, he performs the work appointed you. So again, all the demands made on you, all the desires you have, all the projects, the needs, the challenges that are facing you, I want you to begin to understand that it's not your job to solve it or achieve it. It's your job to get connected to the source within you, to get connected to the vision of the outcome, to feel what it feels like, to begin to show up as if it's already done, to begin to relax and just be fully present today. Again, as Jesus spoke in the Sermon on the Mount, when they were like, how are we going to do this? And what about this? And what about that? And he's like, oy vey, will you stop worrying? Take no thought for tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. There's enough to do today. Instead of worrying, seek first heaven, which is within you, which is another way of saying get connected to your source, to joy, to peace. And he said, and then all those things will be added unto you. And all the great teachers are trying to say to us, there's a life, there's a power, there's a principle, there's a force that's doing all the work and was doing it before you got here and will do it when you leave, but you need to let it do you. You need to let it live as you. And as long as you think you're the one in charge, you're the one in control, you're the one that has to make it happen, you're the one that has to solve it and hold it all up, you're in the way of life's job. And life is saying, let me do my job. Let me do my job. And I will blow your mind. I will open your heart. I will lift your spirit. I will show you a life of so much good that's so much easier than you can even imagine. Let me do my job. That's what life's saying to you right now. And so I invite you as a practice, when you find yourself gripping and constricting and wanting to control and being afraid of the future and struggling, take a breath, give it over to God, give it over to life. Let life do its job, and you get connected back to yourself again, back to the joy, back to the peace, back to the trust. Take a breath and let it go. and show up fully. Bring your best with no attachment to tomorrow. And let me know how that goes. And until next time, live authentically, love unconditionally, and follow your destiny.